Now we're talking with Fleming. She's the president of Women-Drivers.com, and they just released the new 2015 U.S. Women's Cars Dealership Report. How are you, Ann?
I'm great, Javier. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Thank you for spending some time with us to talk about this topic, which I think is really interesting because it's always something that there's a lot of theories about it, right?
Well, right. Yeah, really, it's a pleasure to be on your program. And, women are such a powerful buying segment, of cars and at car dealerships. So it's always a juicy conversation to have. So thanks so much for having me on the program.
So can you tell us a little bit about the methodology about the study? What specific things were you looking for when you started doing this?
Well, actually, the Women-Drivers is we're actually the premier car dealer review company, and we focus on women and helping them locate certified women car dealer dealerships in the United States. So women come to our website and they write a 5-question review about their dealership, whether it's shopping, purchasing, or when they come into the service drive to get service done on their car. Now, when they're done with that 5-question review, they hit submit. There is a pop-up that immediately comes up and says, "Thank you so much for your review. Will you please take a optional survey and provide us more insight into your experience at our dealership?" 9 out of 10 women nationally write and participate in this 25-question survey, whether, again, it's for shopping, purchasing, or for service. So we, each year, we take all the reviews for all the dealerships and we roll it up into the brand or the U.S. dealership report that we're going to talk about today. So we've got about 3,450 reviews, and that's the report that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
That's how we get the data that we're going to be discussing.
So it's pretty detailed data. I mean, if you said like 90% of the women participating agree to go deeper, so it's really, really valuable data. So you mentioned women certified dealerships. What's exactly that?
Sure, great. So dealerships that participate in our program, they recognize that today women are responsible for buying 13 million cars. That's new and used vehicles at new car dealerships alone. That's either 36,000 cars a day. And so dealerships know that, in the past, maybe they didn't always have the red carpet rolled out for women. And so they recognize that women are now close to 53% of all car buyers are women. And so they're looking for new ways to market to this powerful buying segment. And, just coming on the TV and talking about we've got the best car prices, we've got the best car prices, that's kind of getting old. How does the consumer distinguish between one Chevrolet dealership saying we've got the best car prices and another saying they've got the best? So, dealerships are looking for new ways to market, and they recognize, no kidding, it's really a new day, and they're looking for new ways to really distinguish their dealership from others in their respective cities. And that's where, our business, being able to certify a dealership based upon their consumers' reviews of them, really is a very perfect model for the dealerships, but also for consumers, because women rely on car dealer reviews about 50% more than men.
Yeah.
They want to get it right? When they go into the dealership and they make this big purchase, they don't want to get it wrong. So they really rely on car dealership reviews very, very heavily. And so that's really the what's in it for car dealerships and the what's in it for women.
Yeah. So, and the dealerships also are very interested, I guess, into eliminating that perception that they take advantage of quote-unquote lack of knowledge about cars, right?
So, yeah. And, Javier, I think those days are, recent days are kind of shifting. We all don't know about electricity, but we have electricity in our house, right?
Yeah.
So, women, consumers in general, especially now, vehicles, cars are really computers on wheels. Most people, whether it's men or women, the important thing is that we have a license and we properly know how to drive the car. It's not so much that we know how to, and that we can properly negotiate and buy the car. So I think, the days of, that's really, a couple decades ago.
Yeah.
But really smart and progressive dealerships are looking for ways to embrace, to educate, and to engage this audience. And, it's new for them. I mean, when I say new, it's really over the past 5, 10, 15 years that they are really working on such a large consumer base that is predominantly women, or, of course, women making so many of the decisions for the family.
Yeah.
That's really what's new. So just engaging with them and engaging consistently, like each and every time. Because here's one thing that your listeners may or may not know. Some of the data that we do capture is very prevalent. When 6 out of 10 women, when they go into shop for a car, they're just maybe looking, 6 out of 10 of them will leave and not return to that dealership if they do not have, a good experience.
Yeah.
So dealerships really need to get that first point of engagement, that first hello, that first minute. When we're all we're all human beings, and we all make decisions and judgments about each other in a very quick time frame. And for women, it's being able to trust and being respected. Those are the two things that she formulates very quickly in a very short amount of time. And if those two things do not arrive immediately, she's gone.
They're
she
gone.
Will not return.
Interesting. So, and let's talk about the results of the study for this year, please. I mean, what came up number one?
Well, there's lots of things that came up. I think, again, we really have this segmented by shopping, by purchasing, and by purchase, and then again by servicing, purchasing, and by shopping. So one of the things that's really interesting when looking at when we start to look at this at the brand level.
Yeah.
The number one, I'm just going to give your listeners the top 5 brands as rated by women. Number 1 is Mercedes-Benz. Number 2 is Lincoln. Number 3 is Dodge. Number 4 is Jeep. And number 5 is Chrysler. Now, what's very interesting is, number 1, people might say, oh, well, Mercedes-Benz, well, I would expect that. Okay, great. They're a luxury car brand, and of course, they're, the experience that they offer their clients when they come into the store is a very wonderful experience. But I think what would surprise some of your listeners, Javier, is that number 3, 4, and 5, Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler, those are all Chrysler brands.
Yeah, and performance-oriented brands, actually, Dodge and Jeep at least, right?
Exactly. So I think that's really kudos to, whatever training or whatever processes each one of those brands, which all falls under the Chrysler or now the Fiat, umbrella have, is their level of engagement, with women at the purchase point is very, very high. And then to round out the remaining top 10, Volkswagen is number 6, Lexus is 7, Chevrolet is 8, Ford is number 9, and Volvo is 10. So, again, these are rated at the dealership level, and then what we do is we take all that information at the end of the year, and we bring it up and we roll it up at a national brand level.
Wow.
So that's purchasing, for example.
That's very interesting. And so can you tell us about what brands have the most work to do in this respect?
Well, I sure can. Let's take a look, for example, at shopping. I just mentioned that when women go in to shop for a vehicle, if she does not have a very good experience, she's not going to come back. Now, what we do here is we list the top 15 brands.
Yeah.
So you can imagine there's some brand, there's 34 car brands,
yeah.
right? So there's some brands that aren't even on this list. So I'm probably not going to. I mean, you have to go through this, but there's some brands that are on the cusp. Some of the brands that are on the cusp might surprise your listeners. Mazda, Kia, Lexus, Dodge. What that means is that women are having okay experiences when they go in and shop. They're having average experiences. Some of the brands where women have exceptional shopping experiences, meaning she may go in to test drive, she may go in to ask questions, but she's actually not purchasing that very day, but she's writing a review about her experience.
Yeah.
The top number one brand is Volkswagen. Number 2 is Ford. Number 3 is Chevrolet. Number 4 is Jeep. And number 5 is Buick. Hyundai comes in at number 6. So again, shopping is a very different experience than buying. But shopping is so critical because if she goes in and has a great experience that day, she's going to go back to that very same dealership and buy her car.
Excellent.
Chances are very, very high she'll go back to that dealership.
Well, very interesting. Anne Fleming, she's the president at Women-Drivers.com. Thank you very much for your time, Anne, and we're running out of time, unfortunately, here. Can you tell us the website? Is that right? Like Women-Drivers.com for the full report and more information?
Yes, it's actually Women-Drivers.com. So there's a dash, Women-Drivers.com. You can contact us, and we're happy to send out that report.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and hope to talk to you soon again.
Thank you so much for having me on the program. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Este programa fue una producción de National Latino Broadcasting.